Good afternoon, my dear students. Welcome back to another session on liver pathology, the metabolic disorders of liver. Metabolic disorders of liver are a distinct group of liver diseases. They can be grouped as inherited disorders, acquired disorders, and others. The most prominent inherited disorders are hemochromatosis, Wilson's disease, and alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency. The most common acquired metabolic disorder is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. The neonatal hepatitis is a distinct group encompassing rare inherited diseases and neonatal infections. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, the definition, it is a spectrum of disorders that have in common the presence of hepatic steatosis in individuals who do not take alcohol or take very little quantity of alcohol, less than 20 grams per week. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is one of the most common cause of chronic liver disease across the world. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is associated with metabolic syndrome of obesity, insulin resistance, seen as diabetes mellitus, hypertension, dyslipidemias. There is a criteria for diagnosis of metabolic syndrome you can see in your textbook. Coming to the pathology and pathogenesis, insulin resistance is responsible for hepatic steatosis, and hepatocellular oxidative injury is responsible for steatohepatitis. In metabolic syndromes, the visceral fat becomes dysfunctional and there is no production of the lipid hormone adiponectin, and there is increased production of inflammatory cytokines. The increase in inflammatory cytokines causes increased oxidative stress. This increased oxidative stress with increased sensitivity of the steatotic hepatocytes to peroxidation causes membrane and mitochondrial dysfunction, which causes apoptosis and steatohepatitis. Steatohepatitis of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease differs from alcoholic liver disease in that there is neutrophilic infiltration in the place of mononuclear cells, and Mallory-Denk bodies, which are characteristic finding in the alcoholic liver disease, are indistinct. The activation of stellate cells by head-hawk signaling pathway causes fibrosis. So, the pathologic changes in non-alcoholic fatty liver disease ranges from steatosis, steatohepatitis, and steatofibrosis. The natural history of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease: isolated fatty liver change not associated with other changes shows minimal or no risk for progression to cirrhosis. In minority of the cases having non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, NASH. NASH is the acronym to denote overt clinical features of liver injury having histological features of steatohepatitis. These people having NASH are at increased risk of developing cirrhosis and hepatocellular carcinoma. Coming to the clinical features, most of the people are asymptomatic, diagnosed because of the finding of fatty liver on radiological investigation for other diseases. The liver function test done shows persistent increase in serum enzyme levels, alanine aminotransferase and aspartate aminotransferase levels. As we discussed in our discussion on investigations of liver disease, the liver biopsy in such cases will be helpful. Persistent abnormal liver function test of unknown cause is an indication for liver biopsy, and this is a good indication for doing a liver biopsy for diagnosis. Then the goal of therapy in this case, in this condition, is to revert back the steatosis and prevent cirrhosis by correcting underlying metabolic syndrome. Coming to hemochromatosis. Hemochromatosis. Coming to another metabolic disorder, hemochromatosis, a metabolic disorder of iron metabolism. The definition is excessive accumulation of body iron in a individual. Normal total body iron is 2 to 6 grams, and in hemochromatosis, the total body iron may be more than 20 grams, and most of the time it is around 50 grams. This excess accumulation of iron in the body is due to excess accumulation of 0.5 to 1 gram per year. Excess accumulation of iron 0.5 to 1 gram per year. Coming to the classification, the iron overload diseases syndromes are classified as hereditary hemochromatosis and acquired or secondary hemochromatosis. The hereditary hemochromatosis are due to mutations in the gene HFE, hemojuvelin protein, transferrin receptor 2 protein, and in hepcidin protein. The secondary hemochromatosis, the better term for this will be hemosiderosis. It is an acquired condition, and it could be because of increased parenteral iron overload due to repeated transfusions, or it could be because of ineffective erythropoiesis, which increases the absorption of iron from the gut, and it could be because of increased dietary intake of iron, like in Bantu cirrhosis, or it could be rarely because of congenital atransferemia and some chronic liver diseases. Coming to the regulation of iron metabolism, normally there is no regulation of iron excretion from the body. The total body content of iron is regulated by regulating the intestinal absorption of iron. Normally, absorption of iron is regulated by a protein called hepcidin. Hepcidin is synthesized by liver, and hepcidin binds to cellular iron efflux channel ferroprotein. The so complexed protein, by complexing with the ferroprotein, it causes internalization and proteolysis of the ferroprotein. This inhibits release of iron from the intestinal cells. Hepcidin synthesis is regulated by other proteins like hemojuvelin, transferrin receptor protein 2, and HFE protein. In hemochromatosis, the mutations can occur in HFE protein, hemojuvelin protein, transferrin receptor 2 protein, or in hepcidin. The result will be decreased amount of hepcidin with decreased internalization and proteolysis of the ferroprotein, results in unregulated absorption of iron from the intestinal epithelial cells into the circulation. Then coming to the genetics of hemochromatosis, the mutations, as I said, it could be in proteins regulating the iron metabolism, that is hepcidin protein, hemojuvelin protein, transferrin receptor 2, or HFE protein. The genes for these proteins are, for hepcidin it is HAMP gene, for hemojuvelin it is HGV, and for transferrin receptor 2, TFR2 gene, and HFE hemochromatosis gene. The hemochromatosis gene is present on chromosome 14. The mutations in hemochromatosis gene are of two types, C282Y and H63D. The H63D is the common mutation present across the world. C282Y is restricted to the white population. The mutation of hemochromatosis gene is seen in adult hemochromatosis. A juvenile hemochromatosis, which is more fatal, is due to mutations in HAMP gene or HJV gene. Then coming to the mechanism of injury in hemochromatosis. This could be because of lipid peroxidation via the iron catalyzed free radical reaction. It could be because of collagen formation by activation of hepatic stellate cells, or by interaction of iron and oxygen species directly damaging the DNA. The damage to the DNA is very lethal and permanent. Therefore, treatment of iron overload does not remove the risk of hepatocellular carcinoma in these patients, because hemochromatosis is diagnosed late, and by that time the damage has occurred and it is permanent. Therefore, the risk for HCC in hemochromatosis is around 200 times the normal. Coming to the pathology, hemochromatosis is characterized by deposition of iron in organs causing their dysfunction and fibrosis. In hemochromatosis, iron is deposited in different organs like liver, pancreas, myocardium, endocrine glands like pituitary, adrenal, thyroid, and parathyroid glands, and also in joints and skin, causing their fibrosis and dysfunction. The clinical features: it is an autosomal recessive disorder, more common in male compared to females, then manifests after an accumulation of more than 20 grams, and death is mostly due to cirrhosis or carcinoma. Incidence of carcinoma is 200 times greater than normal population. Most of the people present with bronze diabetes. Bronze diabetes is a triad of micronodular cirrhosis with diabetes mellitus and typical skin pigmentation. They also present due to cardiomyopathy and arrhythmias by deposition of iron in the heart, and deposition of iron in endocrine glands and testicular tissue causes atrophy of the testes and other endocrine manifestations. Deposition of iron in the joint and synovial tissue causes acute synovitis and other features of similar to that of gout. It is pseudo gout. Hemochromatosis, the laboratory findings will be the serum iron, serum ferritin, and transferrin saturation are high. Total iron binding capacity is low. And since we have a specific genetic test, it can be done for confirmation and also for screening of the family members. Neonatal hemochromatosis is a congenital but not a hereditary condition. The proposed pathogenesis is injury to the fetal liver in utero due to possible allo antibodies from the mother. The treatment is supportive and may require transplant if it is severe. Coming to another metabolic disorder, Wilson's disease, a metabolic disorder of copper metabolism. The normal metabolism of copper. The total body copper content is 50 to 150 micrograms. Serum copper is present mostly as ceruloplasmin, and less than 10% is present as free iron. Transmembrane copper transporting ATPase aid in the transport of copper across the cells. The copper present in the food and water is absorbed into the enterocytes through copper transport receptor 1, and from the enterocytes it will be entering into the circulation, bound to the albumin and transported to the liver. In the liver, again, it gets deconjugated from the albumin and enters the hepatocytes to copper transport receptor 1. In the cytoplasm of the hepatocytes, the copper will be incorporated into the apoceruloplasmin to form ceruloplasmin. The copper from the cytoplasm enters into the Golgi complex, and this step is aided by ATP7B, a transport protein for incorporation into the ceruloplasmin. And excess of copper from the hepatocytes will be excreted into the bile, and this is also helped by ATPase. Wilson's disease is an autosomal recessive disease. The gene ATP7B gene located on the chromosome 13 codes for the transmembrane copper transporting ATPase. Transmembrane copper transporting ATPase. There are about 300 mutations of ATP7B gene. Therefore, genetic testing is difficult. In this mutation, what happens is the copper transport protein will be protein ATPase mutated in the ATP7B mutation. Therefore, it will affect the formation of ceruloplasmin. The serum ceruloplasmin will be less, and it also affects the secretion of copper into the bile. Therefore, copper starts accumulating in the liver, and the free copper is very toxic to the liver and causes liver injury. Formation of liver injury. By formation of free radicals by Fenton's reaction, by binding of sulfhydryl groups of cellular proteins, and by displacing other metals from the metalloproteins. The pathology of the liver ranges from steatosis, steatohepatitis, necrosis, cholestasis to cirrhosis. Deposition of copper in the brain causes degeneration of the basal ganglia. Deposition of copper in the descent membrane of the eye, of the cornea, causes KF rings. And in the bones, it causes osteopenia. In kidney, they cause tubular damage resulting in aminoaciduria. And free copper, whenever it is released or when there is excess of free copper in the blood, it causes hemolysis. So the patient may have bouts of hemolytic anemia. The clinical features are variable. Maybe the age at presentation ranges from 6 to 40 years, and they may present because of acute or chronic liver disease, because of neurological disorders as the basal ganglia are damaged by the deposition of copper, and they may present with tremors which may be mistaken for Parkinson's disease or other neurological features. Or sometimes due to free copper causing destruction of red cells, they may also present with hemolytic episodes of acute hemolytic anemia. The laboratory investigations, the serum ceruloplasmin levels are decreased because the copper transport ATPase, which is mutated, is responsible for incorporation of copper into the apoceruloplasmin. The serum copper is variable and hepatic copper content is increased. Urinary excretion of copper is increased. This is very good, reliable screening test for Wilson's disease. Demonstration of KF ring is very helpful in the diagnosis. Genetic testing is difficult because the number of mutations in that gene is very high, more than 300. Then coming to the another metabolic disorder affecting the liver is alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. Alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency is an autosomal recessive disorder of protein folding, and alpha-1 antitrypsin is synthesized in alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency is an autosomal recessive disorder of protein folding characterized by markedly low levels of circulating alpha-1 antitrypsin. Alpha-1 antitrypsin is synthesized in the liver. The major function of alpha-1 antitrypsin is inhibition of proteases, particularly the neutrophil elastases, cathepsins, and proteinase 3 at the site of inflammation. This causes liver disease due to accumulation of misfolded proteins in the hepatocytes. The most common genetic cause of liver failure is in the children is alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency because it is diagnosed at an early stage. And cirrhosis and pulmonary emphysema are the common presentation of alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. Coming to the genetics, the gene alpha-1 antitrypsin gene is present on chromosome 14, and this gene is very polymorphic with more than 75 types of alpha-1 antitrypsin. The most common genotype is P1MM, and the most common clinically significant mutation is PIZ, which is represented in a homozygous state as PIZZ, and a heterozygous zygous state it is represented as P1MZ. The other important mutants of alpha 1 antitrypsin are PI null, where the alpha 1 antitrypsin activity is 0. There is absolutely no production of alpha 1 antitrypsin. And in PIS mutation, there is deficient or decreased activity of alpha 1 antitrypsin, which is produced in adequate quantity. Because of early presentation with liver disease, alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency is most commonly diagnosed inherited hepatic disorder in infants and children. The pathogenesis and pathology of alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency. Most of the products of polymorphic alpha 1 antitrypsin gene are normally synthesized and secreted. In deficient variant, there is defect in migration of protein from endoplasmic reticulum to Golgi apparatus. The mutant polypeptide is abnormally folded and polymerized, creating endoplasmic stress and triggering unfolded protein response. That leads to apoptosis. All individuals with PIZZ genotype accumulate alpha 1 antitrypsin in endoplasmic reticulum of the hepatocytes. But only 10 to 15% of homozygous individuals develop overt clinical liver disease, reflecting that the other genetic and environmental factors play a role in the development of liver disease. Coming to the morphology, the characteristic, the liver biopsy shows features ranging from neonatal hepatitis with canalicular cholestasis to steatohepatitis and fibrosis. The characteristic finding in the histopathology is the presence of round oval cytoplasmic PAS positive alpha 1 antitrypsin globules in the hepatocytes. These are the globules in the cytoplasm of the hepatocytes. Therefore, the hepatic pathology is very variable, resulting from acute hepatitis to smoldering chronic hepatitis to cirrhosis in the adults. This also increases the risk for development of hepatocellular carcinoma. Okay, with this, we end today's presentation of metabolic disorders of liver.